Welcome to Grit Gym. Whoa, am I washed out? The door is open, so the sun is right in my face. But welcome to Grit Gym. This is one of the biggest errors I see in the fitness world, and don't make this error. And one of the ways that you can do that is by going to gritgym.com/SS and get signed up for a strategy session there so that we can get clear on the plan for you. But I'm just going to go ahead and open this door up further. But this is awesome. This is the best time to be in Iowa, right when the weather is just perfect right now. But what's the one big error? I see this all the time, over and over, repeatedly breaking this one thing. And this isn't one of those things where that's debatable. Okay, it's one of those things. It's like arguing with gravity. All right, and can you guys do me a favor and can you guys write below and let me know if you can hear me? Because I got the mic on today so that you could actually hear me with the door open. Because there's it's pretty hard to hear me with the sun, with the road right out there. But like I said, door's open now. It's a great time to work out. Anyway, so the biggest error that I see is in the training world is people try to do their strength training and their conditioning in the same time. Okay, these are mutually exclusive concepts. Okay, strength training. Basically, if you're out of breath by the time that you get to the bar, you're probably pushing that paradigm of I don't know, paradigm's the right word, but you're pushing past what you could be in the strength department. Okay, once you're out of breath, you're probably not doing strength training. Okay, so we have to think about this a little bit more strategic. Okay, just because you're doing squats, push-ups, throwing medicine balls, kettlebell stuff, doing power movements, strength type movements, strength-esque, power-esque, speed-esque type movements, just because you're doing those doesn't necessarily mean that those are for speed, strength, or power. Okay, we have to think about this a little different. When you are actually training for speed, you basically have full recovery or something close to it. If you only have a minute of recovery, we're probably not really getting to what we could do in the strength department, in the speed department, or in the power department. Okay, if you're out of breath, I'm not saying that the definition of cardio is being out of breath. I mean, it's not too far from that, but I am saying that you want to have much, much, much more recovery going into a strength training circuit than you would. Let's see if I can do this. I'm just carrying my phone around here. How's that look? I'm carrying the phone with the mic attached to it, so this is really interesting. But you need recovery to do strength training. To do power or speed, you need you don't need necessarily absolute full recovery, but you need more recovery. If you're truly going to do strength, okay, you're going to be working more towards that 2-minute rest period thing. Okay, 2 minutes of rest period. So if you're doing cardio and you're getting out of breath, all right, if you're running around the building in between your sets of squats, that's not strength training, okay? That is not strength training, that is cardio, okay? That is some form of cardio, some form of endurance, some form of conditioning, okay? You're out of breath, you're already compromised once you go up to the bar, all right? Once you go up to the dumbbell, once you go up to the kettlebell, once you go up to the medicine ball, okay? There's nothing wrong with that type of training as long as you're safe doing it. So let's say, one of the reasons we don't do Olympic lifts out of Grit Gym is because they're highly technical. Okay, they're highly technical. It's going to take you literally years to figure out how to do these lifts. I mean, it was probably 6 or 7 years into doing Olympic lifts before I was like, man, maybe at this point I kind of have a little bit of a handle on this lift. That's 6 or 7 years, and I was being coached for the majority of those. I had a coach watching me do the lifts. Okay, do you see? And we don't need to be taking 6 or 7 years to figure out how to do an exercise for you to get something out of it. So what would be the point? Also, I don't want you out of breath when you're doing a highly technical exercise. Okay, you're not going to get anything out of it, and it's dangerous. Highly technical exercise and we're going to get you out of breath, and we're going to compromise your performance. Okay, when you're out of breath, when you are conditioning, when your heart rate is up, you compromise every performance training metric that there possibly is. Your force output, your mental acuity, your everything. Okay, it's all compressed a little bit. You're dampening it down by being out of breath. Okay, now we want some of that. We want that high intensity interval training. We want to bring the heart rate up and we're going to bring it back down. We want to bring that heart rate up and bring it back down. We want that, no doubt about it. It would denying that is the best form of calorie burn and fat burn would be ridiculous. Okay, but you want to get that separate from your strength training. So that's why we do metabolic. We do a metabolic workout where that's all that they're doing. They're just focusing on getting that heart rate up in as fun and efficient and safe way as possible. And then on the other side of the scenario, We are doing Move Strong, where it's a lot slower pace, a lot more rest time, but we're lifting heavier loads. Okay, because you want the strength training, you want the speed, and you want the power. Okay, you don't want to compromise that by getting out of breath. You're going to get out of breath a little bit, but you don't want to compromise that by trying to run around the building in between. Okay, so you want to separate these two. This is a huge error that we see in the strength training world and in the fitness world every day, and people are getting hurt by it. 8% of the United States right now gets enough activity to benefit from that activity. That means 92% of the United States doesn't get enough activity to benefit from that activity. But the crazy thing is that worldwide, right now, over the last few years, that studies show that over 50% of the people that join a training gym this year will get injured in that training gym. That doesn't include all the people that are like, yeah, my shoulder hurts real bad, but I just keep pushing through it. That doesn't include that. All right? There's much more to this thing than just pounding it out and beating up your body. We need to think about things more strategic. So if 50% of the United States, over 50% of the people who are getting enough activity to benefit from that activity are also getting injured, this means that in the United States, only 4% of the United States is actually getting enough activity to benefit from that activity. And, am I still here? Am I still here? I got a phone call. But that means that 96% of the United States right now, that means that 96% of the United States is not getting enough activity to benefit from that activity and or getting injured in the process of trying to get that activity. Okay, that's crazy. That means that people are operating with the wrong information. Okay, so our job is to give you the information that you need in order to succeed in what you're trying to do. Okay, but that means that we need to set up a plan. So go to gritgym.com, so that's SS, and get signed up for a strategy session there, because without the plan of attack, we cannot know what to do. All right, we have to have a plan. This is one of the silliest things. We're not just going to sit you down and go, go as hard as you can, work as hard as you can, and try to lose as much weight as you possibly can. See how that goes. No, you have to have targets. Okay, you have to have dates. You have to have plans. You have to have a way to succeed at that plan. Hey, we're not just going to be just go really hard, do your absolute best, and hope for the best. No, we're going to set up a plan to succeed. All right, we're not going to let all the obstacles that have been in the way up to now stop you from getting to where you want to go. That's why you hire a coach. So go to gritgym.com, says SS, and get signed up there. But the major error that we see, and probably a reason for the majority of these strength training injuries, is lack of plan and the error of trying to do your strength training and your metabolic training, or your strength training and your conditioning at the same time. You got to separate those. You have to do your lifting as the lifting, and you have to do your strength training or your metabolic conditioning as your metabolic conditioning. Don't try to do them both at the same time. Besides, you cannot ride two horses with one butt. Okay? What is the saying? If you chase two rabbits, something about you don't get a rabbit. I don't know. Can you guys tell me how that goes? I can see who you guys are that are on here. All right, so go to gritgym.com/SS and get signed up for a strategy session there, and we'll figure out how to, which rabbit do you need to be chasing, or which horse do you need to be riding, so that you can succeed at this thing, because obviously it's not as simple. I think it is pretty simple. We can make it simple, but it's not as easy. It's simple, but it's difficult. Okay, we need to get a plan together to succeed at this thing. Anyway, go to gritgym.com/SS and get signed up there.